In terms of setting up classroom lessons and hurdle activities for the young people who are reading separate texts, there are a number of strategies that we took to ensure that the skills were still being built in a way that we could monitor. So firstly, we placed a really big emphasis on the kind of core reading skills that competent, confident readers display. And we would create mini lessons that would allow us to model those skills for young people. This translates very readily to a remote context, particularly if you have access to some sort of digital platform. So we would pick a particular skill, say understanding characterization in a text. We would speak explicitly about that skill, so what it involved, and we would model it with young people. So I would take a page from a text I was reading and narrate to them through annotation and through a discussion of my metacognition how I actually went about that. Often we would then use a shared text, either an excerpt from the text I was reading or a common text that we had studied earlier in the year. So we had studied a set text in semester 1 and we undertook independent text study in semester 2. So we would refer back to that set text to practice the skill together. That would take up 5 to 10 minutes of the lesson in a bricks and mortar classroom. In a remote context, you could create a short video or have a video conference lesson where you undertake that part. The rest of the lesson then becomes about the young person applying that to their own text. They do this obviously independently, but you can also set them up in pairs to share what they have found. So you model the skill, practice it together, they undertake it independently, and then they share their findings with a partner. This can be done via video conferencing as well if you have access to a video conferencing platform that allows you to connect students who also obviously need that digital access. It's also really important, obviously, for you to be regularly engaging with young people and what they are reading and how they're applying these skills. So in the classroom, I would use that time, that independent application time, to circulate and to be undertaking reading conferences with young people. Depending on how you're set up remotely, this may be something that you can undertake through video conferencing as well. You can have regular reading conferences and ask them to demonstrate the skills that they are learning. And I spoke earlier about that kind of pair format that you can use to allow young people to demonstrate their skills to each other and to help each other.